my crafty friends, it's Erica here from Me to You Paper Crafts, and it's another Fun Fold Friday. So this week I want to show you this cute card layout. Check that out. Isn't that sweet? I learned this from a fellow demonstrator. She's part of a monthly grouping of demonstrators here in Victoria called the Seashore Stampers, and we get together and we craft and share make and takes. And so this is the card that she showed us how to make, so I want to show you how to make this as well. Now, the key thing with this card is that you can use any punch that you have, or you can use any die that you have that creates basically a hole. And then you punch another die or punch with a piece of DSP, and so you end up with the DSP showing through the window. See that? And the DSP in this case is matching this DSP on the side. Looks a little complicated, but it really isn't. And for this card we added a bit of this glimmer paper here to ground the trees. You want to ground the image, particularly if it's a you know, a person, place, or a thing, like if it's a cat or a dog or whatever you have. So speaking of cats, that's the punch I'm going to use today. We still have this cat punch in the catalog, and so I'm going to do it with the cat this time. Now this, I always like to show, I happen to have this stamp set, Perfectly Plaid, and this is the card that I had made, so Perfectly Plaid, and it coordinates with the pine tree punch, see? So this is still available in our annual catalog for Christmas, and it's got a couple of different designs, or 4 designs for trees, and it's got some great Christmas greetings. So I really love this stamp set bundle. Now, last year we had some other plaid papers, and they're no longer available, but Stampin' Up! Did come out with new plaid papers, and these are the plaid papers that I used for that card, called Plaid Tidings. It's a 6x6 paper pack. Lots of beautiful colors in here, and it's two-sided with different plaid prints all over the place, so lots of fun. Okay, so that's an option if you happen to have that set, or if you'd like to purchase that set, that's great. Okay, so I'm going to show you all of the pieces that you need. Now there is an associated blog post with this. Down below in the description I'll have a link to the blog post. So I'll put in all of the cardstock measurements and the scoring, but I'll let you know what these are as we go along. So the DSP I'm using is from, I'm making a Halloween card. That's why I've got the black cat here. And so the stamp set I'm using is Hallow's Night Magic. There are coordinating dies that go with this. I'm not using the dies that go with this, but I am going to use dies that you can see in our annual catalog. These are called ornate frames. There's some beautiful frames in here for your greetings. So I've picked out one of these frames for the greeting that we're going to do. And the greeting I decided to do is There is Magic in This Night, which is part of this stamp set. And then I pulled out the little spider. I might put some spiders in there and do some other stuff. Not quite sure what I'm doing yet. All right, so here's your cardstock. Now, the paper that I chose also, it coordinates with this Hallow's Night Magic. It's called Magic in the Night. And I really like this paper because it's Stampin' Up! Brought in some really amazing colors in here. Cajun Craze, Blackberry Bliss, and Pretty Peacock to coordinate. Just bringing those colors in. I mean, they are Halloween colors. I think they work. So I pulled out this piece of paper because I thought the cat would be really cool in this floral design. Okay, so I'm going to cut the cat out with that. So you start off with a piece of cardstock that measures 4 1/4 along the top by 11. So this is half a sheet of Pretty Peacock. Okay, so you just cut it down the middle at 4 1/4. And we're going to score this, and then we're going to cut half of the front off. Okay, then I have a piece of the Designer Series paper that's going to go on the front, the half of the front. And this measures 2 1/2 by 4. And then for the inside of the card, you need a panel that you're going to stamp any more greetings on it, and that's where your cat is going to sit on the inside of the card. So this measures 4 by 5 1/4. That's a standard layer for inside your card. And then I have another piece of Whisper White, and this is also 2 1/2 by 4 that will go on the left-hand side. Okay? So let me just pull this card back in so you can see. So we've got the DSP for the front. When we cut off half the front, this is what you get. And then here's your 4 by 5 1/4 on the inside, and the other piece that will go here. Okay? All right, so the first thing I want to do is I want to fold and burnish my card. So I'm just going to fold it in half and make sure I hold very tightly the edges to make sure it's nice and even. Run my finger down, okay, and then I also always like to follow it up with burnishing it with my bone folder. Now, of course, you can bring out your either your Stampin' scoreboard, or you can pull in your Stampin' trimmer and you can do your scoring. But sometimes you can just do a real quick half fold like that. But just make sure you do burnish the side to give it a nice crisp edge. Okay? So now I want to cut off half the front of this card. So I'm going to pull in my trimmer, and I am going to open up the card flat, and I'm going to put it in, and I'm going to measure it up at 2 3/4, I think. Yeah, 2 3/4. So 2 3/4 here, okay, and I'm going to cut off the front. So this piece becomes the horizontal piece on the front of the card. All right, so here's the front of your card now. This piece is going to sit here like that, okay? Now, because I'm doing a cat, he needs to sit on something, just like with this tree here. The tree is sitting on some glimmer snow. I'm going to do the cat on just some black paper. Okay, so I've already taken a piece. This is, it's just a scrap, and it's longer, a little bit wider, I should say, than the inside piece, because I can just trim off the ends. But if you want to cut it to size, it's 5 1/4 inches. And I'm just going to sit that. I think I need to trim it down just a little bit more. This piece was left over from another project, but I think I'll just, so you're just creating some very, not too, you're not making hills or anything, but you want to give it a little bit of dimension to it. I mean, you could do a straight cut along if you want, but I'm just going to add a little bit of dimension to it, okay? And then this is going to go on the bottom of this card. So what I will do is I will pull out my Tombow glue, and I will just run some Tombow along here like that and stick that on the card. And I like to use Tombow in this case because I can just slide it right down to the bottom. I can slide it into place. See, I can just go like that and then tap it, slide it down to the top of the desk. Okay, to make sure it's nice and even at the bottom. And then I will let that dry, and then I'll trim off the ends. Okay, now for the front, we can go ahead and we can glue on our DSP here. You're more than welcome to cut this down a little bit smaller and even put maybe some Blackberry Bliss as a layer on top if you wanted to. You can layer up your cards as much or as little as you want. So I'm going to use my Tombow again just because I have it out. And let's just slide this into place, centering it. Like so. Okay, now for this piece, we're going to cut out the cat. So I'm going to cut the cat out. I'm just going to cut it out close to the right hand side. And make sure you keep your paper straight. You kind of have to eyeball it and keep it nice and straight. Okay, so this you could either use on the inside of your card, maybe we'll do that, or use it on another project. So there's my cat. So that's going to go on there like that. So you're going to only glue, you know, partial, you know, this kind of, not quite half side, but you're going to glue that side down. And now I'm going to trim this off and get this on the inside. Now you have to decide if you're going to do any kind of stamping or decorating on the inside. The thing to be aware of, though, is when you put this on the inside, okay, and then this is closed, you want to sort of be careful, you know, what you've put on here. So this is kind of a stamping area, so I could stamp some little spiders up there. I used to have a cat when I was a kid growing up, and my cat used to, you know, hunt spiders. And it was so funny, if there was a spider on the outside of the window, he would sit up in the window and he'd be pawing at this spider. So I think spiders would be appropriate. Now the other thing is you want to position this so that when you put the cat on the inside, that he is grounded on this little hill that I've made here. Okay. So you position that like that, and then you can go ahead and you can glue this down, and then I'll show you how to position the cat inside. Okay, so I'm going to take a pencil because I like to stamp before I stick this on the inside of the card, just in case I make a mistake and I have to start over. I should have done the stamping before I actually applied this at the bottom, which would have been smarter, but I didn't do that. So let's just figure out where this is going to go. Okay, and then I'm going to close it, and I'm going to figure out where this is going to go. And I'm going to position this, line it up to the edge of the white instead of the edge of the actual card. And I'm just going to take a pencil, and then you can erase these pencil marks. And I'm just going to put a little tiny, very faint line just to show me where my stamping area is. Okay? So I might put some spiders in that upper area. Now this is a small stamp. When you're working with small stamps, you want to double check that you don't get ink on the outside. See, I got a bit of what's it called? Ink on the outside edge there. So I'm just going to clean this off and start again. Inking up small stamps can be a bit challenging. You want to make sure you don't rock the stamp on the ink pad. You want to go straight up and down. Okay, and then double check. See, I still have it on there. Just use my finger and wipe it off, because you don't want to ruin this cardstock. Okay. So I'll put maybe 3 little spiders in here. So when you're stamping a small one, just make sure again you don't rock it. Yeah, this stamp seems to pick up. It's almost as if the rubber is curled a little bit, maybe, I don't know. But I'm just going to use my fingers and take it off. Okay. Put another little spider. Oh, see, I still caught the edge. Bummer. Well, it is what it is. Handmade, right? I actually have a little sanding eraser here. Let's see if I can sand that off. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't work. It's not going to work in this case. Oh well, it is what it is. Just don't do what I do. Even though I told you to check your edges, I still caught an edge. Okay, so now I am going to grab my other eraser, which is on my desk somewhere. Here it is, and I'm just going to erase these little lines here and get rid of those. Okay, so now so I'm going to do this greeting on the outside. There is magic in this night. I'm going to do that on a piece of Whisper White scrap that I have here. Cut it out with the die. Okay, and now I had the die on my desk earlier. Let's see what happened to it. See if I can find it. I'm pretty sure I didn't put it back in the, oh, here it is. Yes, because I'm going to frame it as well with a piece of Blackberry Bliss. So I'll show you how to frame some of your greetings. This is kind of a cool trick. So I'm going to cut this out. I'm going to go over to my new Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, cut this out, and I'm going to cut a piece of this out in Blackberry Bliss. Okay, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So there is that. And what I love about these dies as well, they often have a bit of an embossed edge. You may not be able to see that on there. But there's a bit of an embossed edge on that die, which is very cool. So what I'm going to do, show you how to do this, is I'm going to top this top and bottom. So what I'm going to do is cut this in half. And then make sure you have the right side up, because this is the same thing. It's embossed on the side. I'm just going to take a bit of Tombow glue here. And then I'm going to take my greeting and I'm going to just decide where I want to layer it. There it goes, like that. And then I'm going to do the, oh, I was going to do top and bottom, wasn't I? Let's see if I can get that off. Yes. I was going to do it this way. Top and bottom like this. There we go. And then I'll do the same on this one. Just make sure I've got the right side up. Put a little bit of glue. And I find it easier to line this up put the layer down and then put your image on top. I think it's a lot easier to do it that way. Okay, so there you've framed your image. I'm just going to let that dry a little bit so it doesn't slide. Piece of paper stuck to my finger. Okay, so now I think we can safely put this inside the card. So I'm going to pull out my Stampin' Seal for that. This is very strong tape, and so you don't have to go all the way around the circumference of the card. I just usually do top and bottom. Okay, and try and center that as best you can, like that. Now, where is our side piece, the cat? Here he is. Okay, so I'm going to be lining that cat up against the white right there. All right, so I only need to put a little bit of glue. I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to show you, and I'm going to, because if you want to do it as best you can, let me just think about this for a sec. How far down do I want that cat? Maybe I'll put this right along the bottom. Then you won't see the black on the outside here. Yeah, I think I'll do it like that. So I'm going to turn this over, line it up along the bottom and along the white edge. Okay, and I'm going to just put a little mark here and here, because this is where I want to glue, in that space. So again, I'm lining it up at the bottom and up against the white there. And then just slide that into place like that. And hold it for a couple of seconds. Okay. And now I have my cat. And now I have, did I punch out the cat? I don't think I did. I punched the cat out of the pretty peacock paper. And this I'm going to put here. So I'm going to put some dimensionals on here. And I will put this on here like so. And then I'll punch out my cat. Now, often when you cut designer series paper, there is a bit of a white core in between the two patterns, right? So a little trick is to take a black marker. This is our Stampin' Up marker in black. And you're going to just color the very edge of the paper. So I always like to do it from the opposite side, and you just drag that marker along the edges, and that will get rid of those white marks on there. So just drag your marker along the edge and color in all that white bit, like so. So let's go up on his tail, and we'll do the outside of his tail. And that just, you know, displays your pattern a little bit better without having these little white edges showing through. Okay? Alright, so we're going to stick the cat in there. So basically what you want to do is you're going to stick the cat from the outside in. Okay, he should fit in perfectly well. And he's going to have some glue on him. So I'm going to first put some glue on the cat. Okay, so let's take him out. And we will put some glue on him. Again, let's not do too much glue. You don't want the glue gushing out the sides. Okay. And then you're going to position him in the window with the card closed. Okay. And before he glues all the way down, just get him out of there. So start lifting up the front of the card. And then you can stick him down there. Oh, isn't he a pretty cat? Okay, so that's basically how it works. There's your cat. You can see him through the window. And there he is looking up at the spiders. Oh, that's very, very cute. Okay, so I do have this extra piece of Whisper White. This is 2.5 by 4, so I could put this in here, but let's decide if I want to continue stamping on here. I could do a few more spiders going up, and let's see. There is magic in this night. I'm wondering if I need another greeting on the inside. Maybe not. I could do a few more spiders. So let's decorate this with a few more spiders. Oh, this is going in like that. So let's do a few spiders maybe crawling up the wall. Like that. That would be cute. Yeah, I think we're good. Don't want to overdo it. And let's put some tape runner on here. I still refer to this as tape runner. That's the generic term for it. Let's now stick this in here. There you go. And there's your card. That's kind of cute, huh? So like I said, pull out some of your different punches. I mean, you could do balloon punches. You could do any one of your label punches. You know, if you pulled out a punch like this inside here could be a greeting inside. You can do anything. Use your imagination and go make one. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and hope to see you back next Friday. If you like my Fun Fold videos and any other videos that I post, then you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, and if you hit the bell icon, that will actually notify you when I've posted a new video. And there will be a link to the blog post, and if you'd like to be subscribed to my blog, then you can join that there. So I appreciate you watching. If you need a demonstrator, you live in Canada, I'd be more than happy to help you with any of your supplies and anything that you need to know. And thanks again. Have a great, great weekend. Bye for now.